Hey everyone, it's Kyle from Cool Collectibles back again for another review. This time it's the Transformers Masterpiece MP-39 Sunstreaker. And it's been a long time waiting for this thing to come. I think it's pretty much 5 or 6 years since MP-12 Lambo first released with the Lamborghini mold. Everyone speculated for years that this would come. And finally it has, and I have to say it was definitely worth the wait. I haven't transformed him yet, but going by the pictures that I've seen online, it is an absolutely fantastic figure. So I'll just quickly go through the packaging and all the accessories. It's the usual MP style that you see there. Love the G1 homage there with the remake of the G1 box art pose. And you get all the features on the back there, and I love that money shot right there, but I'll show you that in a second. Comes with the collector card, and there's the new art style that I hate. It's not too bad, I guess, but again, I do like the old classic style and the tech specs on the back there. It comes with the usual instruction manual, nicely coloured and done that way. I got this from Robot Kingdom, so it does come with the collector card, so it's a nice style of the car there. I guess that's just the hood, front and back, sort of. It comes like that. This one was a little bit easier to remove. Normally you have to pretty much destroy the damn things to get them out, but this time wasn't too bad, but I'll end up binning that anyway. And the coin itself is nicely styled there, so you see the 39 Sunstreaker, and I do like his face there, so nicely done in that sort of brass metal look to it. Comes with spare rear view mirrors or side mirrors there. Hopefully I'll never need to use those. Comes with this little gun. I'm not quite sure where he used this or what episode or so on, but I guess it's a nice option to have, and I think you can store this in his leg somewhere, but I'll probably have to go through the instructions for that. Comes with his blaster, which is pretty much in the same color scheme, pretty much exactly the same color scheme as the MP-12 Plus anime side swipe version. Slightly different mold, but pretty much the same sort of semi-gloss or semi-metallic silver, almost like a pearlescent instead of a silver, but nicely done there. Comes with Chip, the wheelchair bound science guy, I guess, from the cartoon. Can't remember his surname, but again, they haven't really painted these humans very well. You can't really see, you can see the molding around his glasses there, but no paint application detail, and the wheels do not rotate, but other than that, a nice little addition there. Also comes with the alien mask from that, I think it's from the one episode, just trying to remember the name, Hoist Goes Hollywood or something like that, where they all get some parts in a movie, and they don this. I can't remember what the movie was called. I think the director or something renamed it Aliens Attack of the Alien Robots or something like that, but him, Sunstreaker and Trax, I think donned these along with maybe Powerglide or someone else, so a nice little addition there. They really are putting their effort into giving some of these cartoon episode accessories, and again, similar to the Megatron and I think Artfire or one of the other recent MPs, they do come with these swap out headpieces. I do like the smiling one, but I'll have to see how that looks on display, and it does come, I'm assuming, with the standard neutral face, but I will probably swap it out for the smiling one. Onto this amazing alt mode. Hold on. Alright, so here is the close-up of this amazing alt mode. Takara engineers, I don't know how they do it, as you know, it's very similar, of course, to the MP-12 Lamborghini mold, and there is a way to reverse this to fold it back into the body and make it essentially the same Contage model, but as G1 fans know, the Sunstreaker transformation is actually a completely different transformation to Sideswipe, and the way they've engineered this is just incredible. The chrome, I'm actually very impressed with the chrome. I have heard reports of scratches and so on. Mine maybe have a few scuffs here and there, but overall I think they've done a fantastic job with the chrome, and the overall paint application, I haven't seen too many paint issues at all that I can clearly see from my look at the figure here. I just noticed that they've actually packaged him in alt mode here with plastic. I'm assuming that's around the crotch piece there. So there's plastic there, and there's also plastic underneath the chrome there. So at least it's good that they're thinking about scuff marks and so on in the packaging, and adding that little bit of extra protection once you take it out. But I'm assuming you take that all off once you start the transformation. But as you can see, the only thing that disappoints me in this particular mode is the lack of the Lamborghini symbol. So I'll just grab the original MP12 here, and you'll see that they did paint a sort of more detailed Lamborghini logo. I guess you can't really make out the bull, but you do get the black symbol with the gold center, whereas this is, I guess, the true cartoon accurate sort of colorway where everything is pretty much yellow. And similar to the back, there's no sort of real highlighting of the name there, Lamborghini Countach, but you can sort of make out the text with that sort of embossing there. But as you can see, the cars are just amazing next to each other. I might just zoom out a little bit. The way that the way they've styled them is just incredible, and I'm just comparing them side by side. I think Sunstreaker is actually just a tad longer. Just going by the tip of the rear wing here, and the front, he is slightly longer. So for some reason I thought it was exactly the same length, but there you have it. There is a slight difference there that I only just noticed. With the underside, not much of a difference. Both very clean. So together, I think they look absolutely amazing. I do like the classier black glass on the original Sideswipe, as I was saying in that review of the MP12 Plus. The MP12 Plus does have the lighter blue color, but you can see the feet through, but they do suit this Sunstreaker mold very nicely. So I'll just give you a quick look through also at some of the things you can do on the rear here. So just hold on a sec. As was shown on the box, you can do a whole bunch of stuff on the front actually first. You can press these little grey buttons here. They'll allow you to flip up the headlights like so. And that looks pretty bloody awesome. And you can then flip out these doors just gently. Try not to rip off any paint. And you can then open up the gull wings like that. And that looks pretty bloody amazing too. I think they're on like a weird double hinge thing there. And then this hood, you can lift up the hood as well. So no engine under there, but I think that's a nice little addition as well. I think that's part of the transformation where I think that turned into his butt flap, but I'll check that when I go through the transformation. But they're the parts on the front, and that does look pretty damn nice. For the rear, you can actually split the spoiler here, out like so, and then flip up his little laser there. And I think that's a homage to the episode, I'm not sure if it's actually the episode 1 or 2, where I think Laserbeak's chasing them, and he flips that out the rear and starts shooting at Laserbeak, I think. So nice that they've done that. And I think the last thing they can do is rotate all of this stuff around and fold this into the body. So I'll just show that, hold on. Alright, the back here, to transform it back into the regular Countach mode, is pretty damn ingenious. You open up these wings first, just to get a bit of clearance in there. So you unpeg that, and these wings then unpeg from the side. I have tried this just once, and it was a little bit fiddly, but you then lift this back section up like this. Before you do that, you need to fold these chrome pieces up on the back here, which are very tight. I don't want to break that off. So you just fold those up. Just make sure they're nice and straight like that. And then you can lift this back section, and that gives you the clearance to then rotate it through like that. And then you somehow, this is where I struggled before to get that little gun actually maybe if I just take this whole rear section off, if I can. Alright, I managed to get this rear section off, which gives you just a little bit more clearance, and you can then clearly and more easily rotate that whole chrome section in and essentially clip it into place at the rear, so you get the idea of how that meets that. And then these little sections on the side here, if I actually keep everything in frame, sort of roll those out a little bit to get those flush, and then make sure these are folded in nicely, and then essentially you just clip everything back in. So if I just push that in a little bit, and you can then clip the back in like that. That's rolled out. Clip the sides in, and then fold the doors down. So I don't think everything is sort of clipped in perfectly there, but if I can get the door in, you sort of get the idea. I'm not sure if the massive gap there is right or not, but you get the idea. So that is meant to look more close to that, and maybe this is the way they got the Lamborghini license approved for this particular figure, but the fact that they were able to rotate this and give you that option to convert it into that is pretty damn amazing. And I think that is part of the transformation. Now, I'm not going to do the full transformation into bot mode on camera, because just doing that took me about 10 minutes, so we will be here forever. But I would recommend, if you do want to see a fantastic video with the full transformation and a lot of good explanation, I would actually recommend a channel called The Chosen Prime. I've actually been told they are a retailer, but regardless of that, his video on the figure itself and the transformation is probably the most informative transformation sequence out there, so I would definitely recommend that. So I will get him into the bot mode now, and see you on the other side. Hold on. Alright, I'm about halfway through the transformation. I just wanted to go through this part, which was particularly difficult and frustrating. Now, the feet themselves, I think, was a beautiful transformation. I think they sit very flush and look the best out of all the Sunstreaker figures. But it was this part here, this center part, that was the most frustrating. As you can see, it's on this center piece here, and this windscreen is actually on the front, and you're meant to rotate it around. And in the end, I'm not even quite sure how I got the room. I think I just forced it, and luckily there was no paint rub on the nice yellow paint here, because the clearance is probably in the order of millimeters, if about 1 millimeter. So just be very careful as you rotate this center piece around, because you might end up scratching a lot of his thigh. So just be careful there. Alright, so I just finished the transformation, and it was a laborious task for me. I totally suck at transforming these things, and it took me almost an hour, I have to say. There were a couple of tricky points, and I'll just quickly go through those. I did go through that whole rotating of the windshield back here, which just so happens, it looks like the windshield is actually removable. As I was rotating it back and then putting the backpack on, I actually pushed in an upwards direction, and it actually pulled the whole windscreen off. Oh, my heart stopped, and I thought I'd broken the damn thing. But it looks like the windscreen actually has a couple of slots on the inside, and you can just slide it back on. So theoretically, you could just take it off and not even have it within the backpack area here in bot mode. So that was one area, rotating it and then putting it back on. The other scary part was the backpack itself. There is a rotation that you do to get it into this position. Now, luckily, I did read on some of the forums where people had some breakages of that particular joint, and so you can actually start the rotation before you clip the backpack together, and that just allows you to do it a little bit slower and actually see what's happening. So I think definitely do that, and then clip it in, and then angle this sort of thing, and then you're able to push it up I was able to clip this bottom piece in fairly tightly. It is a very tight squeeze and you have to push pretty hard to clip this essentially the butt flap piece onto the back of the crotch. But once you push it in there, it is in there very tight. And I do like how the backpack here as well has got this clip that pretty much clips everything in place. And I guess that's one of the highlights of this bot mode for me. Everything just feels so secure, pretty much like a MP wheeljack back in the day. Everything had its spot, everything clipped in, and it just feels like a very solid figure. And thanks to Alex Ching, who pointed out that you can actually fold this panel here and clip it into place to really close that gap. Looking at the instructions and so on, it wasn't clear if you were meant to clip that in, and so all I did was I just folded it down, and so there was a bit of a gap here, but essentially as long as you make this edge flush at the back and you fold it in, you should be able to squeeze it down together and it should clip into place just along that edge in there. So as long as you see this panel on top of the other piece, you've got it in the right position. So once you've done all that, it looks absolutely fantastic. The articulation wise, I think they've gone all out. I think one of the interviews with the designers late last year, they pretty much said the focus for the MP line now has sort of changed to I guess focus on articulation as well. I mean, previously they had focused on a bit of cartoon accuracy and, you know, homages to the toy G1 toys as well, but now they're really focusing on superior engineering, numbers of moving parts, and an amazing transformation sequence to get to this point. So I think they've done a tremendous job in line with the way they've done MP-39 Megatron. I mean, that I still haven't transformed that, but just the overall design of that is pretty amazing. And this one, although smaller, is right up there with that particular figure. The articulation, I think the only area of maybe caution are the hips here. They are on a pretty strong ratchet. They are very tight, so you just need to be careful how you sort of rotate that. But once you sort of get it into the position you want, they pretty much stay in place very well, and you can sort of move it separate to that crotch piece. So as you can see, it is pretty tight, but the legs do move out quite a long way. You can pretty much get him into any position you want. I love the ankle rocking motion and just the overall design of that leg. As I was saying before, it beats out any third-party design by a country mile for me. The gun there does get a bit loose, and I just knocked it out then, but I'll just take it off. I do love these new hands. They do have the sort of rocking motion in the hand, so you can have them angling in, which you can't really do on any of the other MPs from memory. And the thumb, you can move the thumb independent of the fingers. The elbows, lots of articulation in the elbows. You can get them into pretty much almost a full bend there, and then I love the butterfly joint there, that you can pretty much get him into double-handed gun holding hands poses. Lots of articulation on the sides. The head sculpt as well, I have swapped out into the smiling one, which I do prefer, but the head sculpt is just, articulation is really, really good. I mean, you can turn it around, there's a lot of tilting, you can make him look up, you can sort of pull him forward a little bit, but it does look a little bit weird with that plate up, but you can do that and it just looks amazing. What else can I say? I'm gushing a little bit. The backpack, I don't think the backpack looks overly large, and it clips all into place, and as I was saying before, the chrome is pretty well done. I've got a couple of sprue marks here, but other than that, it just looks fantastic. People have complained about the butt flap as well, but if you push it up like that from the front, I reckon it's barely noticeable anyway, so I can't complain too much about that. And I think other people have complained about the head sculpt as well. Maybe these side panels or the ears there aren't as big as they were in the cartoon, but I think that's a pretty minor nitpick in this design, considering Sideswipe's head is pretty small as well. I think swap out faceplates are beautifully done and painted, and the overall figure aesthetic to the cartoon is pretty damn amazing. I'll just grab MP Sideswipe here for the 12 Plus version to just give you a look at the brothers next to each other. And I do think MP Sunstreaker does make the Lambo mold, the original Lambo mold, look a little dated now. The overall sort of aesthetic in the chest there is a bit too wide. The head's maybe a bit too small. It definitely is a shame you can't swap out the faceplate and so on of MP Sideswipe. But the MP12 Plus anime version here does improve it a little bit to match the aesthetic for Sunstreaker here. So if you are thinking of getting Sunstreaker, even if you do have the original, the third-party versions, I would say this is so much better and looks so much better that it's a no-brainer for me. You definitely have to get it if you collect the MP line. The overall design, just the build quality too. I don't think, apart from some of the clearance issues in the rotation of the windscreen there, everything else feels very solid. I didn't feel that I was going to break too many things, and it just feels really solid. So if you are thinking of getting it, there's still plenty of retailers who have it in stock, so I would jump on board and add it to your MP collection as soon as you can, really. Hopefully you like that quick look at Sunstreaker and can click that like and subscribe button. I do have the Blitzway Ghostbusters review coming up next, and I will do finally an end of 2017 video, which is a little bit late, but just to go through what my figures of the year are, and also show my class of 2017 for these MP Transformers. But hopefully you like that quick look, and can subscribe and stay tuned for the next few videos coming up. So thanks again, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Cheers. Bye.